Hi everybody, I'm Sam.
And I'm Alex.
Welcome to Unit 6, Airbnb bounces back. Now, 6 months ago, the future for property sharing company Airbnb did not look so bright. Due to COVID-19, nobody was traveling, and there was nothing that resembled an end in sight. Now, for homeowners who had been budgeting for continued high revenue from hosting, saw a huge wave of cancellations. Now, Airbnb saw no other choice than to issue full refunds to those whose travels were unfortunately derailed by the pandemic. Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that the bottom had fallen out of their business.
Derail. You could be forgiven for thinking. The bottom falls out.
The company had plans to diversify into 3 new areas. They were going to do air transportation, they were going to open their own hotels, and they were even going to try their hands at filmmaking. All of those plans got shelved. Worse yet, they had to lay off a quarter of their workforce, the total of which is 7,500 people. But despite this, a lot of observers have praised the company for how they have handled this crisis.
Lay off.
Have you ever used Airbnb yourself?
I have used them. I used them in, I believe, Jeju-do when I went many years ago. And I almost used them in Taiwan until I realized that the apartment I booked was miles away from where I was actually staying.
No.
Yeah, so that was a waste of money.
I've also used it here in South Korea too, down in Busan when I was an exchange student, and that was great. The homeowner was very friendly and kind of talked with us a lot, didn't just leave us to ourselves straight away. And the second time was actually in London, and that was lovely. It was kind of away from the city of London, so I thought, why not try it out? And the service was great. Now, Alex, how is their service any different from, let's say, a typical hotel?
Honestly, when I stay at an Airbnb, I just feel like I'm at an apartment.
Right.
I don't really feel like there's any kind of special room service or restaurant downstairs. There's nobody to tip. You just kind of show up at the door and you stay there as if it was where you lived, basically.
Right. I think it enables us to immerse ourselves more into the, let's say, local atmosphere. It obviously depends where you are, but funnily enough, when I used the Airbnb in London,
Right.
I definitely felt more, let's say, like a Londoner. Whereas in my hometown outside of London, it's a bit of a different atmosphere. That will do it for our preview section, and we'll see you back here in the review.
Thank
Bye.
you.